So today is Friday, and it is my first real day off from work this week. I worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, so I spent most of yesterday recovering and trying to rotate back my sleep schedule from night shift. And so here I am today trying to accomplish all the things that I kind of let slide when I work at the beginning of the week and am hardly home enough to sleep, much less do things around the house. So I'm feeling a little bit, actually a lot bit overwhelmed this morning and just really tired and just like yuck. So I thought that I would kind of maybe talk some stuff out and just make a post about the things that I'm feeling and the things I've been going through lately. One, because it helps me to talk things out, even though it's a one-sided conversation with my MacBook camera. And two, I haven't really made a decent update on the blog or on my blog lately. So here we go. Most people, before they do a video update, I feel like they kind of try to make themselves look presentable, but at this point I'm kind of apathetic, and I brushed my teeth and washed my face and showered today, and that's about as good as it's going to get. I really need to do my eyebrows, but thankfully you can't see that from this angle. So this is my tired face. So let's see. Yesterday I did have therapy, and I'm kind of at a spot right now where I'm frustrated with myself, and I'm really tired of therapy and chugging along at all this stuff. It's just, I don't want to say I'm bored with it, but it's just exhausting. And I've reached a point where I'm happy with how things are, but I also feel like I'm stagnant in the sense of I'm still having binge purge episodes 2 or 3 times a week, which is improved from before, but it's still there, and it's probably been like that for about 3 weeks now, maybe 4, and I haven't really made a whole lot of noticeable improvement with that. I did have a month where I was binge purge free, but I think a lot of that was catalyzed by I was on a high calorie weight restoration meal plan. So it was just easier to not binge because I felt like I was eating all the time anyway. Yeah, so I'm irritated with myself, and I'm sitting here thinking about what I can do to avoid just putting myself in these situations where I end up past kind of like past the threshold of no return, where I'm like absolutely going to use a behavior and binge and purge. And like, I mean, this is something that we've hashed and rehashed in my therapy appointments. And like, honestly, I don't know. I'm working on becoming more aware of what I'm thinking and not just like shutting my mind off during those periods of time. But it's really difficult when I'm super exhausted and can't fight thoughts, and I feel like everything around me is in kind of a disarray. Like right now, my surroundings, I mean, my house is like disgusting. I would be so embarrassed to have anybody come in. Like, it's really bad. And so it's hard for me to make, I feel like it's hard for me to make good decisions when my mind feels like it's a mess. And then I think just because of the ADD and just how I am, if everything around me is a disaster, it's overwhelming, and it just like creates this whole snowball of my mind being even more of a mess, and I get stuck, if that makes sense. So that's kind of where I am, recovery-wise. If anybody has any encouragement or suggestions, I would appreciate it, because I'd like to not stay stuck. I don't know if I'm necessarily stuck, but it's like I made a ton of progress, and then it's just like really, really slowed. But I have to remind myself too that, you know, I've had an eating disorder since I was 14 and I'm 25 now. So it's not going to be undone overnight. And in some ways, I'm glad that it hasn't been this like total black and white transition, because I need to work through these things and I need to struggle in order to really know that I'm going to maintain a healthier lifestyle for forever, because I'm just tired of having an eating disorder. Even though it's been such a part of my identity, I'm ready to move on. So that's therapy. Second of all, I'm gonna start an adult gymnastics class. An adult gymnastics class, which I'm super excited about. I love gymnastics, and I always have, but just this past year, I recently started to get more into watching it and learning about the sport, and it's actually like way more intricate than you would think. I mean, it's just it blows my mind. The more that I learn about it, the more I love it, and so it's kind of an exciting opportunity to do something I've always wanted to do, because I did violin growing up. My mom started me at violin when I was age 3, and so that was always my thing, which didn't leave a whole lot of time for other activities. I did gymnastics briefly, but like, I can do like a cartwheel and that's it. So I don't know. It'll be fun though, and I think it'll be a healthy focus for me. I'm constantly amazed by gymnasts, and I know that it's talked a lot about how eating disorders are common within, not common, but of all sports, gymnastics is one that has a higher rate of athletes with eating disorders. But it helps me to be able to focus on what my body can do, and like the muscle structure of a true gymnast, just like, it's amazing. And obviously I'm not like gonna get to that point because I'm old and I feel like grandma going back to college, but I think it'll be good for me in a sense of building muscle and building confidence in, hey, my body's pretty awesome, and here's a form of physical fitness that I actually like, that isn't torturing myself, and that time goes by really fast. So, yeah. Yay. What else? Oh, my phone is driving me nuts. I don't know if anybody else has T-Mobile or a Samsung Galaxy. I actually really love my Samsung, but lately I can't make outgoing calls. Like, I'm at like a 5% success rate on connecting with outgoing phone calls, which is endlessly frustrating because, like, I don't talk on the phone that much, but I don't want to spend like 10 minutes trying to get my phone to connect to another phone. So I need to get that fixed this weekend. Yeah, and T-Mobile is just not my favorite. I can't tell if it's an issue with the network or the software on my phone or what. It probably is my phone, but regardless, it's irritating. So, yeah. Today I'm just going to be cleaning. I'm laying here looking at my carpet, and I'm so grossed out. I need to shampoo the carpet so bad. I swear, beige carpets and a dog. That's what I look forward to about owning a house, is if there is carpet in main living areas, unless it's like uber stain resistant, that crap's being ripped up, and cheap laminate floors are going to be put in until we can afford something nicer, because, hell, I even do linoleum, just because they get so gross with a dog and a cat and me, and I don't know. Other things. I'm not really sure how much I've talked about this on my journal, but we are looking into relocating to Florida. You may remember that we took a vacation there back in April, I believe. And Josiah has always wanted to move somewhere like completely different. across the U.S. And I was always like, I mean, even though I'm not that close with my family, change is really hard, and I still feel like I need to stay in this area, especially because I'm my dad's only child, and he's getting older. Like, he's in his 60s. So, but anyway, we visited there, and oh my gosh, I loved it. Like, we both loved it. So right now we're living in the Midwest, and he has a master's in exercise physiology. So he can do a lot of random things with his job, but there's just not tons of job opportunity where we're located. And so, um, we have certain areas of Florida that we'd like to live in, and those areas present a lot more job opportunity than what he has now here. The job he has, I mean, it's okay, but he'd basically be doing the same thing that he does every day for the next 20 years. And he needs more variety, and he feels like this just is not really what he wants to do long term. So it's kind of, the moving is all dependent on where he's able to get a job. Right now, he's not applying too aggressively, just because we promised our landlords that if we moved, we wouldn't move in the middle of winter, because there's a group of guys that own our duplex, and they, a lot of them are older, and they go south. They actually go to Florida for the winter, and so that's unfair to them to just get up and leave, because they were nice enough to not have us sign another year lease for our duplex and just do like a month-to-month type thing, with the agreement that we'd give them plenty of notice if we were to move, and that we wouldn't just like get up and move in the middle of winter. So he is still kind of looking. He's applied for some jobs, but toward the beginning of 2016 is when we'll really start looking more aggressively for jobs for him, and then I'll start applying for jobs, because I'll have hit my 2-year mark as being a nurse, and that should theoretically open up more opportunities and hopefully allow me to negotiate for better pay than if I had not hit that 2-year mark. At least that's what makes sense in my logical mind. I could be wrong, and if I am, feel free to tell me. But yeah, and with that, I'm just excited to do something different, because the hospital that I'm at now, I'm very, very thankful for the opportunities of learning, the learning opportunities that it's presented, because I work with a really difficult patient population. Anybody who works at the hospital will tell you that. Anybody who works in this metro area will tell you that it's probably one of the more difficult hospitals to work at, because of the socioeconomic status of a lot of our patients. And there's only one other hospital in the area that I can think of that would be more challenging, patient population wise. So like, I'm thankful for that, because I feel like I'm being presented with a lot of situations that I may not normally see, and I do like the cultural diversity, but it's stressful, and working on an oncology medical floor, it's not what I want to do long term. I definitely want to do critical care as my next step. So with that being said, that's going to be the kind of job that I'll be looking for after I hit that 2-year mark, and once we figure out where we need to relocate to. Previously, I kind of thought that I wanted to do peds, and that still is an option in my mind. But lately, I think I still know that, like, in my life, I want to do something with kids, especially underprivileged children. But the more that I've thought about it, the more I think I would get burnt out if working with children was my job. I don't know. Maybe it's just because of how jaded I am toward everything now at work and people and just different situations. Like, I would almost rather work with kids as a volunteer in some sort of organization as opposed to working with them for my job, if that makes sense. And like within critical care, there's different, I don't know, it's just different with peds and adults. And maybe it's just because that's what I've been exposed to, but I think that I would rather do adult critical care rather than peds. Especially because I don't know, I know at some point I want to go back to school to pursue a more advanced degree. And if I did want to do peds, or if I did decide that peds was something I could do long term, I think I could still work adult and then go back and work toward becoming a pediatric nurse practitioner. But then at the same time, in the back of my head, I've kind of always wanted to pursue being a CRNA. So I would not want to be a nurse anesthetist with kids. I think it would be too much. And those programs are few and far between. So, I don't know. I'm trying to keep my opportunities for the future open while at the same time thinking about what I can do as my next job that will be much more fulfilling than what I do now. Oh, but like volunteer-wise with kids, we've talked about adopting. Josiah and I want to have children of our own, but I don't think physically I could have more than maybe one or two. And I don't know, adoption is something that we had talked about even before we were married, and likely it would be a child out of the foster system. I don't know, kids in that situation, it sounds fluffy to say that I really have a heart for those kind of children, but I'm drawn to them. And I know that it's a challenge, and I don't think that we could be foster parents per se, but I would like to do something with foster kids as a volunteer. And I think that would kind of fulfill my niche of wanting to make a difference in that respect. I'd really love to be a CASA volunteer just to kind of get my feet wet, but at this point, because we're talking about moving, it's not I can't really start pursuing that in this area because it requires a certain time frame commitment. So, I don't know, maybe that's something I'll look into after we move. Yeah, wow, this is getting to be a 20-minute long video. I hope you packed a lunch. So, I'll go ahead and wrap up. Kudos if you watched all of this. I hope all you guys have a great Friday. I am hoping that my Friday starts to look up. I think I need more soda. I went and got a Diet Dr. Pepper from across the street, but I'm kind of considering going and getting more because, you know, the elixir of life, this Diet DP. Yeah, that's about it. Have a good day and a good weekend. Thanks for watching.